Hi, I'm Tom White. I live in the Richmond, Virginia area. That's the United States, and been here pretty much all of my life. I've been playing music since I was 10 years old, guitar, sax, and so forth.
We're going to take a look at the project checklist from the class as it applies to Studio One version 2 DAW. The first thing we need to do is to create a project name and location. And in Studio One, to create a new song, we start with create a new song. And it comes up with a default of the date and name, and that's rarely what we want. So I'm going to call this My New Hit Song. Okay, and the directory here, we're going to go ahead and change this. Let's go up to music and public music. I'm going to create one here. I'm going to make a new directory, and I'm going to call this Studio One. And I'm going to make a folder underneath of Studio One, and we're going to call this My New Hit Song. Where you store these is completely arbitrary. Just make sure you know where they are, and it's an accessible folder from your login. Click OK. Now, the second item in the project checklist is to set the digital audio preferences, and we'll want to set the sample rate to 48 kilohertz, and we'll set the bit depth to 24 bit. The time base in bars, song length, tempo, and other items here you don't have to worry about now. You can change them if you want, or they can be changed inside of the DAW itself. So we'll click OK, and it brings up our environment. Now the next item that we need to look at on the list is set the recording type to broadcast wave or AIFF. With Studio One, broadcast wave is the default and essentially the only option for directly recording music, so we don't really have to do anything within this. And now we need to look at the hardware settings for the digital audio interface. You would click Studio One from the menu and Options. Alright, I have a tone port UX2, and you can click the control panel here, and this is where we can set the default buffer size. The setup list recommends 128, which is what it's set for, and the default buffer bit depth is set to 24 bit. So this is all correct. We don't need to change anything. And over here are the various inputs that you're going to be using to get set up. So we can click OK on this, and that is in essence all you really need to do to get started. Click OK, and at this point you're set to add a track to record, and you can call it drums, whatever you want to record here, and you're set to go. It's pretty simple, and you need to remember to stay consistent with the directories and create a subdirectory. And one of the first things that I always do once I get everything set up, my environment set up, and everything on the checklist completed, is I'll go in and click File and then Save. Now that's actually written what we have so far, so if you have a crash, lights go out, and you don't have a battery backup, you know that you've got this much done. You can open it, reopen this at any point. So hopefully that will answer any questions about getting the environment set up in Studio One, and from here you can record. Appreciate your listening to this and taking your time, and good luck in the rest of the class.